Across the world, some places were built to last forever. Stone by stone, these places shaped history. Imagine a fortress built so strong that medieval armies simply gave up trying to breach its defenses. A stronghold with walls thicker than some modern bunkers, and a design so advanced that attackers had to fight through 2 complete rings of fortifications just to reach the inner courtyard. Its outer walls reached over 30 feet thick, engineered with layered defenses, arrow slits, angled towers, and murder holes designed for maximum punishment. Inside, long vaulted halls, elevated walkways, and kill zone corridors gave defenders every possible advantage. For more than 150 years, this fortress resisted repeated sieges from some of the most powerful forces of the Middle Ages, and only fell after a mix of military pressure and clever deception. This nearly unconquerable masterpiece of Crusader architecture is known today as Krak des Chevaliers. High in Romania's Carpathian Mountains stands Peleș Castle, one of the most beautiful royal residences in Europe. Built in the late 19th century by King Carol I, it became the summer retreat of Romania's royal family. A palace of over 160 rooms, filled with marble halls, weapon galleries, and hand-carved wood. Every room has a different theme, from Turkish and Florentine styles to Art Nouveau and Gothic revival. It was the first castle in Europe powered by electricity, decades ahead of its time. After Romania's communist takeover, the palace was seized and hidden from the public for years. Today, it's finally reopened, a monument to art, innovation, and forgotten royalty. Built in just 5 years, this fortress still dominates the coast of North Wales. Conwy Castle was built between 1283 and 1289 by King Edward I during his conquest of Wales. It was part of his Iron Ring of fortresses, designed to crush rebellion and control the region. The castle was engineered by James of St. George, one of the greatest military architects of the medieval world. Made from local limestone and sandstone, Conwy features 8 massive towers, 2 fortified gateways, and a split inner and outer ward, a revolutionary design for its time. It cost around £15,000, a fortune in the 13th century, and could house hundreds of soldiers. Its location gave Edward control of the River Conwy, allowing supplies to arrive by sea even during siege. Conwy was later seized during Owain Glyndor's Welsh Revolt and damaged in the English Civil War, but its walls still stand. Over 700 years later, this castle remains one of Britain's best-preserved medieval fortresses. This island fortress began as a strategic stronghold long before it became a castle. The first major stone structures were built in the late 11th century, controlling the narrow passageway between Lake Geneva and the Alps. By 1150, the fortress was firmly under the power of the House of Savoy, who turned it into their main lakeside stronghold. Its most important expansions came under Peter II of Savoy in the mid-1200s, when the castle gained its vaulted halls, towers, and the defensive layout you see today. Chillon's position on a rocky island made it nearly impossible to storm. Attackers had to fight uphill, across water, and under crossfire from multiple angles. Despite centuries of conflict in the region, the fortress was never taken by direct assault. Every power change came through politics, not conquest. For almost 1,000 years, this medieval fortress has guarded Lake Geneva. This is Château de Chillon, the island castle that no army ever managed to capture. Perched 130 meters above Lake Bled, this fortress was first recorded in 1011, making it the oldest castle in Slovenia. Built for defense and power, it began as a Romanesque stronghold before evolving through medieval and Renaissance styles. Once owned by the bishops of Brixen, its towers, courtyards, and chapel reveal nearly 1,000 years of history. The castle's cliff-top view captures Bled Island's church below and the Julian Alps beyond, one of Europe's most iconic landscapes. Inside, a small museum traces life through the centuries, from knights to nobility. Solid rock, red roofs, and a view that defined an entire country. Bled Castle still watches over the lake like time itself. Older than the pyramids, aligned with the sun, forgotten for centuries, this is Newgrange, Ireland's ancient solar tomb that lights up only once a year. built over 5,000 years ago by Stone Age farmers. It's a massive passage tomb carved from hundreds of tons of stone, aligned with breathtaking precision. Each winter solstice, the rising sun cuts perfectly through a narrow passage, flooding the inner chamber with golden light, a moment that lasts only minutes but was planned millennia in advance. For centuries it lay buried beneath the earth, until its rediscovery in the 1960s revealed the skill of Ireland's earliest engineers. Today, Newgrange still greets the solstice dawn, proof that long before the pharaohs, Ireland was already building with the heavens in mind. Archaeologists in Egypt uncovered the lost golden city of Luxor, a 3,400-year-old settlement built during the reign of Pharaoh Amenhotep III. It contains entire streets, houses, workshops, ovens, storage rooms, jewelry, pottery, and walls standing almost exactly as they were left. The mud-brick city was abandoned suddenly and sealed by desert sand, preserving it better than almost any ancient site in Egypt. It offers a rare snapshot of everyday life, not temples or tombs, but a full working city with tools, rooms, and artifacts frozen in place. Experts say it's the largest and best-preserved ancient Egyptian city ever found. Buried for over 1,400 years beneath the Arabian sands, archaeologists on Sir Bani Yas Island just uncovered a Christian monastery older than most European churches. Inside its stone walls, a plaster cross, still intact, proof that monks once prayed here before Islam reached the Gulf. Nearby they found imported pottery, glass bottles for sacred oils, and even a scorpion-carved seal, linking this desert outpost to ancient Mesopotamia. It's the oldest Christian site ever found in the UAE. This ancient complex was built over 1,500 years ago in the highlands of Bolivia. It was constructed from andesite and red sandstone, materials that are extremely hard to shape with the tools known from that period. Some foundation blocks weigh over 100 tons, while most others range between 1 and 20 tons. Many stones show precise right angles and interlocking joints, achieved without the use of mortar, wheels, or iron tools. Archaeologists still study how the builders quarried, moved, and shaped the stones so accurately. The site is known today as Puma Punku, near Tiwanaku. This fortress stood for over 400 years without ever being destroyed. It survived civil wars, earthquakes, fires, and even direct bombing during World War II. When the surrounding city was wiped out by air raids, the fortress remained standing, even after an incendiary device landed on its roof and failed to ignite. Its bright white walls weren't decorative. They were engineered to be fire-resistant. The twisting approach paths were designed like a trap, forcing attackers into looping routes under constant fire from above. Inside, defenders used hidden attack points, angled gun holes, steep narrow staircases, and kill slits carved into the walls to slow and eliminate intruders. Every part of this structure was built with one purpose: make invasion nearly impossible. And across 4 centuries, that strategy worked. The name of this unbroken Japanese fortress? Himeji Castle. The castle that never fell. This Scottish castle sits on a tiny tidal island, and for centuries, the only way to reach it was by boat. Castle Stalker was first built in the 1320s and rebuilt by Clan Stewart in the 1400s, turning the island into a natural fortress. Steep rock, deep water, and shifting tides made it almost impossible to attack, so the castle became a safe stronghold during Highland clan rivalries. And despite all the conflict around it, Castle Stalker didn't change hands through battles. Ownership shifted through royal grants, marriages, and inheritance, because storming the island was nearly impossible.